All right, let's dip into the regular season series here with the Cubs and the Mets. And look at that. Cubs, they blanked the Mets in 2015, won all 7 matchups there. But a key point here, the last game that they played against the Mets was July 2nd. And Cliff, the Mets on July 2nd were a completely different team than they were here, or than they are now in the NLCS. So, and we're going to take a look at the lineup here from July 2nd. Yeah, you got Siciliani in there, Eric Campbell, Monell. I mean, Ruben Tejada obviously gone as well. Much different team now offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. David Wright, Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Conforto, and Yoenis Cespedes. Those are the 4 big bats that really jump-started this offense after the trading deadline. None of them have played a single game against the Cubs this year for the Mets. So that's a big difference. The Mets, in those last 2 months, they went from being one of the worst offenses in the majors to one of the best offenses in the majors. It was a big jump, a big improvement in their overall record. And then you go back and look at those games. There were the losses. There was a game they lost 2-1, where Matt Harvey threw 7 shutout innings. There was a game they lost 1-0, a game they lost 2-0. John Neese started 2. Carlos Torres lost 2. These are guys who were not factors on the playoff roster. Carlos Torres wasn't on the playoff roster. You know, in one of the Syndergaard, the only game Syndergaard pitched in there was his major league debut. I mean, you can't compare those 7 games to anything. And the Cubs are different, too. Both of these teams have improved dramatically in the second half.
Cubs are entirely different. I mean, that Mets lineup you guys put up, that looks like the list of players that the Indians invited to spring training in Major League. I mean, they're getting, I don't know where these guys coming from. The Cubs are different, though, too, because Jake Arrieta is on a different level than he was earlier in the season when maybe the Mets saw him. John Lester is one of the most accomplished October pitchers of the last several years. So this is a different time of year for him. And you see what the Cubs have done since the trade deadline. We talk about what a difference it was for the Mets, for the Blue Jays, for the Rangers and the Pirates. But look at the Cubs. They're better than every one of these teams right now, Carlos. We forget that they're a hot team, too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've been playing incredible baseball. They have surprised everybody in the whole entire world, right? But I think the Mets are like the movie Scarface going, say hello to my little friend, I'm reloaded, because they really are, man. They got the firepower ready for the Cubs to come back. Those 7 games that are in the past, that's just history, brand new game, ready to go, new teams. I mean, they have just totally recreated themselves as they've gone, the season's gone along.
Can the Cubs draw any bit of confidence from the fact that they beat them 7 times? I know it was a different team. We've just obviously clearly stated that. But are there some players on that Cubs team that's going to mean a little something to them heading into this?
I think if you look at it in the surface, it could. You don't want to get overconfident. I think the Mets can use this for motivation and saying, look, these guys are going to come in here and think that they can just roll over us. That's not the case. And they can really pump themselves up for this series.